Let us discuss about a new chapter, human health and diseases. Health, defined by WHO. Before coming to the definition of WHO, it is compulsory, it is important to know about a common man's idea about health. If we ask anybody what is health, he may say one answer: I do not have any diseases, therefore I do possess health. I do not have any diseases, therefore I can say I am healthy. See, common man consider health as a diseaseless condition. Of course, diseaseless condition is said to be health. But it is not an aspect which is restricted only, which is connected only to the disease. But it is a collective aspect that is connecting to the health, body, mind and social aspects. That is why World Health Organization explains health as not a diseaseless condition. Health is not a diseaseless condition. That is what the major point of WHO. They explain life, they explain the health as a well-being of, as a well-being, it's a state of well-being of complete physical, mental and social aspects of life. It is the well-being of mental, physical and social well-being, or social dimensions of life. If any disorders in such a well-being take place, that can be a disorder, that can be a problem of health. If any of the problems there in these three domains, that person is not at all possessing health. The body, we know that according to WHO, the three domains should be in a well-being state. That is the physic, mental or mind, social. For example, the physic of a person. If a person possesses body pain, he do not have a health. Yes, of course, that we know. If I am having an infection in my eye, yes, there is no health for me. If there is a stomach pain, yes, there is no health. What about mental health? If I am having some stress, if I am having a feeling of depression, if I am having a feeling of diffidence, if I am having a mentality of inferiority complex, a depression, tensions, so all those factors are associated with mind. Therefore, if any of some above stated things are there in my mind, I am not at all healthy man. And if a person's no problem with the physic, no problem with mind, but that person is living in an island, or island I mean as alone. He do not have any social contact. He won't used to talk with anybody. He don't know how to communicate with others. He do not like a social life. He won't meet others. He won't go for any ceremonies and programs because he don't like to meet with the people. Therefore, we can simply say that that person do not have a social health with him. Therefore, we can say that if a problem associated with the third one or social domain, then also the person do not show health. That is why this is what the definition of WHO. WHO giving a definition that touching the all aspects of life. These all aspects should be are included in WHO's definition. If a person possesses well-being in these three domains, physical, mental as well as social, then WHO says yes, health is there. Therefore, from a common man's idea, we should change our mind. Health is not a matter which is restricted, which is connected only with the disease. Yes, of course. Let us discuss what is a disease. As we discussed, disease is a disarrangement of health. It's a disarrangement of health. It's a disorder in the body or a mind. It's a disarrangement of health. It's a disorder of mind and body. Of course, there are diseases which are very much furious to the man, which are dangerous to man, sometimes silly to man. This chapter, we will have a clear idea about different types of diseases. Let us have a look over it. The classification of diseases. Diseases can be of different types. Major kind of classification, one of the major classification associated with the diseases are diseases can be of two types. Infectious and non-infectious. Diseases can be of two types majorly. This is one kind of classification, the infectious diseases and non-infectious diseases. Let us discuss about different types of diseases. As we have studied in the last class, majorly the diseases can be classified into infectious and non-infectious diseases. When we discuss about infectious diseases that we have studied, infectious diseases are those diseases that can transmit from one person to another through the agents such as the animals, plants. Infectious diseases are so called because they can be infected. There is the infective agents. The infective agents such as viral or bacteria, protozoans, funguses, different types of worms can be considered to be the infectious agents. Even if they are infectious, their transmission is not because of these agents. The transmission of the infectious diseases take place through the agents known as vectors. The vectors are the agents that transmit these diseases from one person to another. As we know, viral diseases are one of the major infectious diseases. As we have studied, viruses are tiny organisms. They cannot be considered as living. Because inside of a living organism, that may be of a plant or an animal, if they are inside of a living organism, they are said to be living. That may be plant, that may be animal. But while outside of the body, they do not have a life of their own. Because of they do not have a life outside of the body, they are said to be non-living while outside of the body. Viruses are agents that can cause variety of diseases in human being and other animals and plants too. When we discuss about human case, as we have studied the HIV virus, the most threatening diseases in human history. And there is the cases of polio and also the cases of measles. We have very crucial diseases that have changed the history of human being. HIV is one of the diseases. Polio, even today, human beings are look fearfully on the polio cases. Nowadays, world have introduced a giant events to eradicate polio from all over the world. Bacterial diseases. I think in every aspects of or every field of human life, there is the presence of bacteria. In the air there is bacteria. While we go to drink a water, inside the glass there may be bacteria. If we are wearing a dress or a coat, maybe bacterial infected one, that is. And if you asking a pen from your student, your friend, there may be bacteria. If you are buying a vegetable from a shop, maybe bacteria. While talking with a person, bacteria can enter your body through the droplets coming from his mouth. So wherever the field we go, there is the presence of bacteria. So some of the bacteria causes problem to man. As we know, there are the cases of pneumonia, diphtheria is there, typhoid is there, and cases of tetanus is there, so and so. There are so many variety of diseases that infect, considered as infectious diseases that are caused by bacteria. And if we discuss about protozoans, as we know, protozoans are the group of organisms that is said to be single-celled. We are very familiar with amoeba, one of the major protozoan. We are simply we dealt with. Take the case of amoeba. A type of amoeba is there known as amoeba proteus. Amoeba proteus. It can cause a disease called amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery. It's a major stomach problem. It can cause so many problems associated with the stomach and intestinal disturbance. Amoebiasis. And we are very familiar with a problem known as malaria. Malaria is a major protozoan disease that is caused by a causative agent known as Plasmodium, one of the major protozoan. It enters to the human body through a vector known as mosquitoes. Anopheles mosquitoes are there. Anopheles, female mosquitoes transmit these malarial protozoan known as Plasmodium into the human body. So then fungal diseases are there, ringworm like fungal diseases. Ringworm fungal diseases. A ringworm is a major fungal disease. And funguses can cause problems associated with the food infection, food poisoning. Botulinum is such a fungus which causes food poisoning. Helminthus. What do you mean by helminthus? Helminthus are worms. You are familiar with the teniasis. And also we are very familiar with the Ascaris. Ascaris is a worm, Ascaris lumbricoides. It can cause a major problem known as ascariasis. And in front of us there is a major problem of filariasis. It's also known as elephantiasis. Filariasis or elephantiasis are caused by a major worm known as Perchuraria branchofti. It is one of the major helminth that causes a disease, filariasis. So all these diseases are some of the major diseases that comes under the infectious diseases. And we have studied infectious diseases can be infected from one person to other. Therefore, the infectious diseases can be said to be communicable diseases. They can transmit from one person to another. How this transmission occur? Simply speaking, this transmission occur through, as I told you, there are some agents called vectors. Vectors are the agents that cause or that transmit, carries the disease causing agents like this from one person to another. For example, take the case of malaria. Malaria is a disease which is caused by a protozoan called Plasmodium. This Plasmodium enter into a human body through a mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito. If a female Anopheles mosquito bite a person of infection and the same mosquito biting you, that protozoan enters to your body through that mosquito. Here mosquito can be considered as a vector. So some vectors are there that can be a factor of transmission. Not only vectors, sometimes some flies through the air. So not only through vectors, through the factor like air. From air, though this kind of agents can be transmitted. For example, how common cold transmits from one person to another. We know that. Common cold is caused by rhinoviruses. Rhinoviruses or flavoviruses. Rhinoviruses or flavoviruses enters your body through the air. We know about, as I told you, a protozoal problem called amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery. It enters your body through the food. So food can be an agent of transmission. Sometimes if we drink contaminated water, then the dysentery like problems occur. Cholera like problems occur. It is caused by Vibrio cholerae. It's a major bacterial problem. So there water can be an agent of transmission. No, so air can be through air it can be transmitted. Through water it can be transmitted. Through the toiletry it can be transmitted. Take the case of leprosy. Take the case of leprosy. It's a major viral problem. How it come to your body? Through the use of infected clothes. So having a close contact with a person of leprosy, you can also be get with the problem. So there the contact, the traces again come there as a major agent of transmission. Though majority of the infectious diseases transmit from one person to another. As I told you, infectious diseases and their group. And it is very important to know and to study about the non-infectious diseases. There are non-infectious diseases. Majorly, non-infectious diseases can be they cannot transmit from one person to another. majorly the non-infectious diseases can be grouped into two. One, the lifestyle problems, then genetical problems. Lifestyle problem means those, for example, cancer. Take the case of a cancer case. Cancer is one of the major problem which is caused by lifestyle. So we know through the food we eat, through the lifestyle we follow, if we live in an atmosphere where high amount of mutations, for example, if a person is working in a petrol pump, a person is working in a chemical factory, so he may be attacked by cancer. So lifestyle can cause cancer. Then genetical problems inborn. It is not caused by any of the agents, like exceptions are there. Take the case of a syndrome, problem called Down syndrome. It's a problem, or it's a genetical disease that is occurred due to the alteration in the chromosomal number. And Klinefelter syndromes are there, Turner syndromes are there, hemophilia is there, sickle cell anemia is there. How are these genetical problems, genetical disorders? So those are not infectious in nature. They cannot come to another person. So diseases can be classified like this into different two major groups. Majority of the later classes of diseases can be grouped under this only.